So welcome to you, Sverre, as an occupant and a citizen in this kind of building.
Thank you very much, Klaus. Can you hear me? Yes. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sverre Simonsen. I am the resident, together with my family, in what I believe is the world's first truly sustainable, active house. Home for life. We need to forward. There we go. Now, I'm here today to share some of our experiences of this house with you. I'm trying to boil down 1 year of experiences into 5 minutes, which is difficult. Now, why would anyone want to move twice in a year to become a test family? It includes the ambitions of demonstrating to the world the existence of a sustainable alternative to conventional living. We are not especially green, we are not especially environmentally conscious, but we have followed the debate, especially leading up to COP15, and of course we participate in the way we can by demonstrating that this can be done. We hoped. Also, we believe it is fundamental to raise our children in becoming active participants locally and globally in the forums that they can participate in, so that they can act local but think global. Also, on a more personal level, we would like to examine the effects of increased daylight and a controlled indoor climate on our personal health and overall well-being. The Velux Home for Life uses a number of principles and means to achieve the goal of becoming a truly active house. One of them is the intelligent integration and use of architecture, automation, and low-carbon building components. Now, our experience of this has been mixed. We do believe that the individual components have come to a stage of maturity, that the individual components are very good in themselves. The windows work, the ventilation system works, the heat pump works, but the integration of the individual components is still incomplete. Further, the house is supplied by a mixture of passive and active solar energy, plus an air-to-water heat pump. Now, many of these elements are very, very good. I should add that also the inlet of sun is actively controlled via sunscreens in the facades. But despite of this, we do feel that 50% of the heat supply to this house is passive energy, and sometimes it has been excessive amounts of passive energy. We have had very hot periods. In this context, you should know that the house consists of 40% glazed area compared to the floor surface. And obviously, this is very difficult to control how much energy actually comes in despite the very high efficient window glazing. A third means of reaching the objectives is playing with the daylight. The effect of daylight in this house has been a key instrument in achieving what we believe is one of the really important things, and we can actually sign that it has increased our comfort and overall well-being and our quality of life. A last experience that I would like to share with you is being a regular citizen is of course that having this overwhelming interest from media, professionals and local communities has been also a mixed experience. Sometimes very fun, meeting a lot of interesting people, and sometimes, perhaps especially for the children, somewhat a challenge to cope with people walking in and out of your home all the time. So, what are the messages to bring home from this year in Home for Life? And what are the messages to bring home in this forum? First of all, we think we have proven that sustainable living can be achieved without sacrificing the comforts of modern day life. And this is important. We are not living in small cottages made of clay. We have been living in a very modern, architecturally beautiful house with a lot of daylight, not compromising on any of the comforts that we're used to. Also, we do think that there are some, as I mentioned before, building components that still need to be optimized. For example, there is a need for efficient, space-saving insulation. Now, had this house been insulated with a more efficient and space-saving insulation material, we would perhaps have had a net living area just large enough to accommodate also our baby daughter Marie, who was born while we were living in this house. Further, there is a big need, and I think this goes in line with Professor Heisenberg, for adaptive and user-friendly home automation. Adaptive in the way that it has to adapt to the way that the users are really living in the house. But also that the interface towards the user has to be user-friendly so that even the children are able to control the house and control the system. Now, going back one, these are the messages for the active house. We have come in a situation with considerations. Now, would we buy a house like this ourselves, or what should our future be? What have we learned ourselves? What are the messages that we have brought home from this year in the first active house? One of our considerations is, what is the total cost of ownership of such a house? It is, as you mentioned, it is a machine, and it needs maintenance. And thinking of going back to our old house, which is a house from the 70s, which is supplied by, which is very common in Denmark, district heating, co-generated heat and power. Does these alternatives provide value for money? It's a question mark. Also, the co-generated heat and power has a very high energy efficiency and can be supplied by renewable resources. But the considerations are ongoing, but the main conclusion of this year in this house and what we have actually brought home is that daylight is quality of life. And this is the reason we have invested in not less than 15 new windows in our old home. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much.